Good morning, my glam queens and my empire babes. So today we're going to take a twist as to what we're used to seeing on my channel. We're going to go more onto the political side of things. So I'm here this morning with
Cynthia Connell. I am running for Natomas Unified School District's school board.
So the reason why I wanted to do an interview with Cynthia Connell was because I think it's very imperative to have our youth get involved more with the voting that is going to occur next week, November 6th. So go vote. And I just wanted to get some background info, just on a more personal level, get to know Cynthia Connell. So we'll commence the interview. Okay. So my first question is just if you could tell our audience something like your name, kind of like where's your hometown, and some things that you like to do on your free time.
Okay, well, my name is Cynthia Connell, and I was a teacher in Natomas for about 12 years, teaching mathematics, algebra, and my hometown, well, I live in Natomas, and I've been here for a long time, but I'm from all over. I was born in Texas, but I lived all over the country because my dad was in the military, and so we kind of settled in Sacramento, but I'm from Texas, and then New York, and Virginia, and Florida, and Germany, and Mississippi, and so all over. And what I like to do, I like to travel. I really love to go new places. I've traveled all over the world, and it's what I do. If I'm not doing something else here in town, I'm gone. Everyone who knows me knows that I love to travel. It's the thing I love. So, and when I travel, I like to walk, and I like to swim. That's it.
Were you ever on a swim team?
I was.
You were?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. That's brutal. I mean, the butterfly stroke was a killer.
Yes.
But yeah, I was on a swim team in a couple of states, New York and Virginia. Yeah.
How'd that go?
That's so funny. Oh, I mean, I would get third place. I think, is that white? I got a lot of white ribbons. So it was brutal. But yeah, I was on a swim team. And then at some point I was traveling around the world with a backpack, and I came home for the summer, and I got onto a master swim team here in Natomas, and I did that, and that was, oh gosh, I was like 38 when I did that. So I love to swim. It's the thing I love. And then I learned to snorkel, and then I learned to scuba dive. So I got over being afraid of the ocean, and it's amazing what's down there. So.
Did you find Nemo by any chance?
No, I didn't find Nemo, but oh my gosh, seriously, snorkeling is a great way to start. If you're at the ocean, just get a snorkel so you can see what's there. And in California, we have the kelp forests, and it's a beautiful place to swim. Put on a wetsuit because it's cold, but if you're in Monterey, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And you can see seals. They'll come swim right up next to you. They'll nudge you. They won't hurt you. And dolphins swim in the Monterey Bay because it's safe for them from like sharks, because there are sharks out there. And then also there's sea otters. It's a beautiful place to swim in. Just with a snorkel, you can see everything. Yeah.
Okay. So, if you saw my Twitter at PoliticalDiana, you'll see that I had posted that I was going to post this interview. So let's get into the politics of it.
All right.
Okay. First question. Rich is still on the personal side. What motivates you the most?
Okay, so I think what motivates me the most is a sense of fairness. It's really important to me to have a sense that people are being treated fairly. And that starts with kids. So like I see it in my family. If you got two brothers or brothers and sisters, I think, you know, I want to see them treated fairly by their parents. You guys, if you got siblings, we all know. We all know who the favorite was in the family, right? So fairness is really important to me. And then, so as a teacher, you know, what I started to see was that there's inequity, there's not fairness, there's inequality in the way that teachers and classified employees are being treated in Natomas, for instance. Because we all talk about equality like among genders and among races, but we don't think about how we also want to have equality for people in the workforce, just as workers,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So that's what motivated me to actually run for school board. But it's based on a foundation within me that just strives for fairness. So, you know, in my classroom, I would have kids say to me sometimes, you know, Miss Connell, you're not fair. And I remember one day saying to a kid, yes, I am. And he said, no, you're really not. And I thought, you know, it's true. I am treating you all the same. I have the same rule for you and you and you. But how we react to the rules is different. And so consequences and repercussions and grades, you know, they're all different. Because even though the rules are the same and we treat people the same, the outcome can look different. You know, in my classroom, I really found that. Yeah, but what I did find is that really I found that there's this kind of sometimes we can play favorites as adults. You know, in the workplace, we do tend to be nicer to the people we really like in life in general, I think, and in the workplace that can happen if you're not careful, right? So that you can look around you and go, how come that teacher is always getting the whatever? Or how come that employee always has the whatever? And you know, this, and you guys that are out there that are working, you can see that already. And you know, you can see it in your classrooms too in college, right? That this, well, that happens in high school and in school too. The kid who raises their hand the most is usually going to get called on the most. The most out. Yeah,
that was
teacher's
me.
pet.
That was
So
you.
Yeah. So, and it's not because necessarily that you walked in and the teacher said, "Oh, I resonate with Diana so much. She's going to be my pet." But it's just that if there's 30 other kids or 37 kids, we have a saying: the squeaky wheel gets the grease. If you're the loudest and you're always raising your hand and you're the most enthusiastic, or one of the most, you're going to get called on a lot. And it is an issue in schools that we tend to call on boys more than girls. Boys tend to be more outspoken and energetic in a classroom. Not all, but that tends to be the case. And so teachers have to strive. It's why you guys had the popsicle sticks where the teacher pulls the name and says, okay, I'm going to call on Susie, the one in the back who never, ever, ever talks, right? Because I need to be fair, because otherwise I'm going to call on Diana again because she's got her hand up, right? So
I remember those.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're doing uncut, by the way. So if we don't finish the interview within this portion of 20 minutes, we'll be doing the second part, but we're going to try and fit it all.
I'll talk less.
Okay. Let's see how much time we have. We have about 8 minutes.
Okay.
We've done 8 minutes. We have 12 minutes. Okay. What made you want to run for board member?
Natomas Teachers Association asked me to run, and I said, okay, because they are desperate for a change on the school board. They want someone on the school board who understands what it's like to be working in the district, in the trenches, in the classroom, and who is willing to meet with them to listen to what their concerns are.
Perfect. I did not know that. That's why that's why you just. I thought you wanted to from a long time before, but it's good to know.
No, it came up on August 7th, and then I found out, okay, I have to file paperwork tomorrow, and oh, there's a meeting tonight, and there's a meeting Saturday, and then it was like, boom, it's been nonstop. Wait, what did I just do? So.
Next question is, what are the most important things that you feel need to be changed within the district?
I think the most important thing is that the school board and the superintendent need to listen in meetings with to teachers, classified staff, and parents, and students, right? I do think that students haven't been given a voice, and I think the voice has actually been, they've tried to actually take your voice away from you, and I think that is horrifically wrong. I think if students want to speak to the school board, they want to speak at the school board, you guys have every right to speak up and speak out. The educational system is yours. It's affecting you. So first and foremost, they need to be listening to every constituent, and they're not doing that right now.
Sure.
And then we need to lower our class sizes. There's no reason why we can't. Everybody's going to tell you we don't have the money. Yes, we do, and yes, we can. So lower class sizes. Keep our teachers. We're losing way too many teachers. And why are they leaving? They're going to tell you at the district that they're leaving because, oh, it's a life choice. They're going to better jobs,
or
promotions.
I was told, we can't discuss that because it may be for medical reasons.
Right. And so that's true. We can't discuss specifics and details, but you can ask your teachers, why'd you leave? And they'll tell you, get on Facebook, why'd you go? So a lot of teachers have left, and classified staff have left as well, and they're frustrated, and they're going to other districts. They're not leaving teaching. 6
teachers have left Natomas High School in the first semester of this 2018-2019 school year.
6 teachers in 6 weeks.
Yes.
Something's wrong with this picture. 2 of them are African American teachers, and that's another issue for me. we just need a lot more African American teachers.
We need
And
diversity.
I don't think there's any excuse for letting an African American teacher go without a long conversation about what's going on and why are they not willing to stay. Because it isn't because of the kids. It's not because of you guys. Then that's the fear that teachers have, is that you think, oh, it's us. It's not, but they're going to other districts where they have a voice in the curriculum, a voice in behavior management, a voice in how the school is run. So those are important things to teachers.
It's true. No, it is. I went to the homecoming game at Thomas High School, and I was able to talk with different teachers and just students in general. And the students were actually telling me more. They're like, yeah, we lost so many teachers. It's not good. And they're like, it's worse than because right when I was going to graduate, the day that final started, two of probably, in my opinion, the best teachers on campus were removed from campus for administrative leave, or that we weren't told what it was, and then we were told, well, it's for medical reasons or whatever we can't discuss. I'm like, doesn't make sense. Like, there are two of the teachers that are the most responsible. They speak up for students. And I told other peers too, I was like, if there's any reason that they probably get fired or removed from the campus, it's probably because they said something that they didn't like administration probably did not like, because they're the two probably like most, I'd say, like righteous teachers that will stand up for students, always. And we were left guessing, but we still don't know the main reason. But
yeah, and the district can't talk about why they do anything like that. They can't, because they can't expose a confidential thing. But you can talk to teachers, and you can put two and two together. And it is suspicious in the last week of school, when finals are due and being graded and grades are being entered, that two people are suddenly gone and on paid admin leave, and then you can't get an answer. I don't like it when things operate that way. And if it had happened once in the last 6 years, or if it had happened twice or 3 times maybe, but it's happened so many times.
And it continues to.
Yeah, and it continues to. And so that's a problem. And that's another reason why we need a change on the school board, because the school board has the overall responsibility to make sure that the climate and the vision is being carried out. The climate is good, the culture is good, students are succeeding. And I think we know, as the teachers in the classroom, the classified staff on the school sites, you students, you know that it's hard to thrive in that kind of an environment. It's hard. And if you're a junior and those two teachers were teachers you were expecting to have as seniors, and then you show up and now what you have is a sub, which some of you guys have all year, you're going to have a sub, or you're going to have 2 subs, yeah, it's not okay. It's just not okay to operate this way. Yeah.
We didn't even have the opportunity to have an exam review because the teacher wasn't there. The final ended up being something that they made, like an essay, like, oh, well, what were you guys reading about? We can do a final on that. And even then, our teacher was very strict on like no late work policy, which a lot of people, like, I understand where it's like, okay, like, oh, we need to do the work we can all the time. But at the same time, it's like, as students, it's our responsibility to do it. So I understood that part. It's our responsibility to actually, get our work in on time and abide by the teacher's policies. And at the end of the year, the students that were, failing or had like lower than a certain grade, like, oh, you can turn in your late work after the deadline, which I thought was like, you guys are just trying to get your rates up. And when I went to the district and I did speak, they were discussing how our A through G ratings are so much higher within this last year. I'm like, I wonder why,
Wow, you're pretty astute, seriously, Diana, because these are the kinds of connections that we really would like the community to be making at large. Make the connection to this kind of thing, because those of us in the classroom, especially those of us that teach seniors at our high schools, know that A through G is a numbers game too. And if grades are being modified, or teachers are being pulled, and then suddenly work is being turned in late, and everything becomes lenient so that kids can graduate, it does change the numbers, and the numbers look really good.
They look good, but it's not like we actually earn those, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like because there's so much leniency, like, yeah, it looks good for the school, but at the same time, it's like,
I think it's really important to have a student's perspective on this. I really do, to have your perspective on having just gone through this, because you just graduated this past year,
yes.
right? In this year, in 2018. And I think that's a really important perspective that's missing from the conversation in the community and in the school board meetings. And so it's really important when you speak at the school board and you put that on the public record so that anyone that wants to see in the minutes sees that this student, Diana, spoke and said this. And then they can maybe, as a community member, do their own research and figure out what's really going on here and what are our A through G rates. And, you know, yeah.
I'll link down in the description the actual video of when I did discuss all of this in front of the board. I presented many issues. Obviously, they couldn't respond back, but I will put it in the description so you can see that, check it out, and check the facts yourself, because there's a lot of issues that continue to happen. It's not okay.
And they can't respond back they can respond at the school board meeting. They can make a response. They can't engage in a conversation with you. They could certainly respond, and they also could put on the agenda for another meeting a conversation in public where that's an agenda item, and this is what we're going to discuss, is how did this happen? Not specifics about teachers maybe leaving the classroom, but what has gone on, what is going on. Here is the actual data. Here is what really happened. They can talk to the community in that Brown Act forum that they sit at in that table. And they can respond, but they just can't engage. Yeah.
That's the same issue. In a way, though, because they don't have much transparency within the board, it becomes another issue, because they kind of they'll hear it, but they kind of okay, thank you for coming type of thing. Which is why I think, you and Jag are very into not having so much transparency and being very direct with the community.
Yeah. Yes, and the Brown Act doesn't preclude us from being honest and open and direct with the community. It doesn't tell us we can't. As a matter of fact, the Brown Act says the only time you're supposed to have a conversation with all 5 of you is in public. And if all 5 of you are going to be together in public, you need to have an agenda, you have to take minutes. And so that's why they have these school board meetings. The whole point is they're supposed to be sitting in together and having conversations. And they don't do that at all anymore. So how they are able to operate as a team, as one of the school board members says, I can't figure it out, because they cannot meet more than 2 of them at one time anywhere else outside of that school board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
They can, but they'd have to make it a big old public meeting, and it has to follow a lot of rules, so they don't do it.
And this goes for just any department in general, because I work for the commission, and they do have the same policies,
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. And then just the last question. So in the case, which we hope this doesn't occur, because I'm hoping you can take the spot, but in the case that this election goes in a different direction and you don't end up winning, what's next?
Right. Well, what did you say? Did you say do not win? What? What is that?
Did
you
you
say
don't
not win?
I don't
It does not compute. I don't understand what that means. But no, if I don't win, at the panel meeting last Wednesday with the women of color who are running for office in Sacramento, they had a great panel discussion, and I'm going to steal what one of the women said. I will run in 2020, and 2018 this campaign will be the launch of my 2020 campaign, because I've learned everything in this process.
Mm-hmm.
I knew nothing. I knew this, and now I know a whole lot. Everything I know, I've just learned. I don't mean I know everything. I mean everything I know, I just learned. And so I've learned a lot. There's a lot more to know, but I've learned so much that this is already a big foundation. So if I run 2020, if I don't win this, I'll win 2020. So I'm coming after the 2 other school board members that didn't run this time around. So get ready. Better start getting some money in your coffers.
I know. Who knows? I might be running as well, but
I think you should be. Yes, absolutely. There are women in this community who will put their time and energy behind you. Yeah.
Well, that pretty much sums up our interview. It was so great. I'm shaking.
Yeah.
It was so great. Don't forget to go out and vote November 6th. I said go vote. Go vote Cynthia Connell and Jag Baines, as well as someone else that I'll probably share some links in the description. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share this video.
And you don't have to wait till November 6th. You can put your ballot in the mail today.
Yes, you can do that.
Cynthia Connell.
Jag Baines as well.
That's it. 2 of us running for 2 seats.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.